Hello guys, wish you all are doing good. Welcome to our YouTube channel TechMart. Hope you enjoyed my last video in which I covered the file management structure. And the file management I covered cert insert. We saw that we store the private key and the public key, and we can upload our certificate as well. Next, we discuss about the checkpoints. If you want to take a backup of the uh, current is current position of our appliance, then we can create the checkpoints, and it is the domain specific, so you can create the checkpoints domain specifically. And if you as I mentioned that if you want to take if you want upgrading your data power, so if there is some failure, and if you are exporting some new services that are impacting to your already existing services, and the existing services are not working, so in that case if you have your checkpoint, then you can roll back to your checkpoints so that your system will start working as intended, uh, which it was working at the time of creating the checkpoints. In the next, I discuss about the config, and it's again the domain specific, and it contains all the configuration of your objects, your services, and whenever you create your new objects or services, or anything any objects, crypto objects, anything, so at that whenever you click on the save button, your domain specific configuration file will be updated as per the current time. Next, we discuss about the export. If you want to take a backup, or if you want to export any object like web service proxy, multi-protocol gateway, or FSH, or any objects, or if you want to take a backup of your complete domain, or if you want to copy or and copy or a copy of any object and you want to move to another domain, so if you'll export that object or domain, the same file, the zip file, will be available here. You can export that object as an XML file or a zip file, so as per your requirement you can select as a zip or XML file. In the next object, I discuss about the local is basically a file directory structure which we use uh, for our development perspective, or if you want to store some WSDL files, schema files, some XSLT or JavaScript files, or some any other files, so we can create a directory here, and we can keep those files as per their directory or their file structure. So next is log store and log temp. uh, Basically, if data power data power is keeps all the file into a log temp, but the thing is that log temp have some restriction storage, like that if it can store like 15 MB or 20 MB as per your data power version. The capability can be different, and if you want to archive the files for longer time, you can archive those files and you can keep into your log store. So as you can see that log temp have as of now default log, and if you want to create a log target into your local, we'll cover that topic in more detail whenever we'll create the log target, and uh, we'll keep the log file into our log temp. So here you can create a temporary, not a temporary, you can create here a log file, so that all your logs will be stored in this file. The problem is that if you have the default log, after some time, as if the size, as per the restriction, if the size will be filled, the new file will be created, and for example, if you can get only 4 files, so after that your default log file will be rewrite. But if you want to keep your logs for longer time, so you can create a log target and you can keep the logs into a particular files. As I mentioned that I have created one logs file, so all of my logs will be stored in this file. So for example, if you go to control panel, here you can, if you click on view logs, so all system related logs you can see here. But here this is very limited, like that you can see here 50 rows. If you click on next tab, you can see the old logs. So whatever action you are performing here, you can see the logs, like what the first is time at this column will show the times, and next is category, like in the categories like mgmt or web service proxy. And here you can see the level. Data power provides to different kinds of log levels, like notice, information, error, critical, and you can see that. And here it's provide the transaction id, you can see here, and this is a message id. So and here, like here it's the level is notice, the next is error. So as per kind of the error type, you can easily see that this is related to your web service proxy, and the type is error, and what is that transaction id. So all system related logs you can see into the system logs, and the same logs will be available here in your log temp directory. If you'll go here, the file management, in the log temp, the default logs, you can see all the logs here, all the logs which you can see in the UI. But this UI have very limited logs, but details, the same logs available in this file as well, but in the UI you can see like 50 or 100 rows. But in this file you can see all the logs, means from of all dates as well as. And once the mentioned size will be filled, so new file will be generated. And one more thing, if you want to check the audit logs you can't check here, because these are related to the admin. So to check the audit logs means if you made any changes into your system, you made any changes to any object, so you can see all the, if you added any user of or if you created any domain, so you can see all the logs here. Like you can see that for domain specific logs, you can see here, if you added something, you can see what you did in this domain, like that configuration added some we made some visible domain related settings, we made some changes like url permission. So all the domain specific logs you can see here. These logs helps a lot if you want to debug any issue that is related to any admin, if some object is not working fine, or who made the changes into that object. So there are so many things that are very useful to audit any object, or audit any domain or appliance. For that we can see all the logs available here. So let's go back. So as I mentioned that we can see the logs, system logs, by clicking on the view logs, or as I mentioned that audit logs can be viewable by admin only. So only in the default domain you can see the audit logs. So let's move to next. We'll go back to file management. In the file, okay, so we covered here log store and the log temp. And next is the policy framework. If you created any policy that is related to your framework, so you can create a new policy also here. So that will if you want to follow a particular framework for your services or your mpgw, you can create here as well. Or uh, as per your requirement you can create new framework policy, so that will help while you create a new object. So that is the policy framework. So next is our PubCert. PubCert is basically related to your public certificate authorities. There are so many public authorities which will verify or sign your certificate. As you can see that if you are creating a certificate like CSR, to authenticate or to have the there are some authenticate systems or bodies, we can say, that who will verify that your certificate is valid. So for that there are so many authorities like VeriSign. I'll show you. uh, VeriSign, Thwate, or other or we can see like interest DST. So these are anchors which verifies your certificate, and by default they provide their certificate into data power. So whenever you go to your PubCert, you can see the by default certificate provided by those authorities. Like if I'll click on server, we can see the public certificate of that anchor, or we can say authorities. So here we can see that. And if we want to see the other, like Microsoft root certificate, we can see here that these are the Microsoft root certificate. So these are the certificates that are by default available in our data power. And as per your VM version, you can see the new, maybe in your and last one, like you have data power 7.0 or some lower version. So maybe those VMware though firmware don't have all the certificate, and maybe the higher version of data power may contain more kinds of certificates. So these are the default certificates available in the data power uh, that is provided by the authorities anchors. So means the anchor who provides authority or who validate our certificate. So all those anchor certificate will be available into your PubCert. Next is shared cert. So shared cert is basically a directory which which contains all the certificate available for a particular domain. Not a particular domain, we can say that if you import any certificate into a shared cert, then that certificate will be available for all the domains. I'll show you one thing. Let's move to default domain. As of now, we don't have any certificate that is available into shared cert. As I mentioned you that as per the best practice, we shall keep all the certificate into our shared cert. Otherwise why I mentioning here, because like that you have some certificate, 10 or 15 certificate that you want that will be visible for all the domains. Like that you have 5 domains and there are 10 certificate. So instead you need to upload all 15 certificate, 10 certificate in every domain. So better than you can upload those certificate into your shared cert. I'll show you how we can upload a certificate into shared cert. So I'll click on choose file. So here we'll click on test.cr. We'll add. Okay, we'll upload it. See, we uploaded the certificate into default domain, and we can see that shared cert, we can see that certificate. But now if we'll go to other domain as well, like we'll go to labs. So if we'll go to here lab, we can see that the certificate is available here as well. And if we'll go to other domain like test, the same certificate is available here as well. So we shall keep the public certificate into our shared cert. So those certificate will be shareable for all the domains. So so let's move to next object. The next directory structure is we covered pubcert, shared cert, and the store. Store, basically store is a file directory structure, or we can say it's a data power system inventory file system. So data power need to perform some operations like in terms as we discussed, that uh, if we want to secure our system from the SQL injection, so how the system will perform, or how the data power will authenticate SQL injection. For that there is some file, some SQL file that will help to see here some SQL injection filter files. So when data power will perform the SQL injection, it will use that XSLT file. And if you want to customize that XSLT or any file, for example, if we have mtom file is basically used when data power will handle a SOAP request with the attachment. So in that case data power will use this mtom .xsl. Or if data power want to perform any encryption, that data power will see if data power want to encrypt a SOAP message, or uh, uh, want to perform another kind of encryption. So data power will use these XSLTs. So in this directory, data power will have all the XSLT which it requires to perform some specific operations. And as I mentioned that if you want to customize any XSLT, like we have mtom XSLT. So if you want to customize that mtom XSLT, better we shall keep a copy of that mtom.xslt into our local directory. So at that time we'll select that file from the local directory. Actually it's not suggestible, so that if we'll make a changes into by default file, because if that file will be corrupt, then maybe the data power will not behave as intended, that maybe the mtom policy will not work as intended. So better we shall not make changes into any default file, and we shall keep a copy of that file into a local folder, and we shall make changes there. So basically store is a system inventory of data power files, which data power use to perform many kinds of operation. Like here is a triple info file. Like if you want to authenticate a resource prior to use that one, so here this is the XSLT. Here the tag is authenticate. Let's take a use cases. For example, you want to download a WSDL file of a particular web services, and you want to apply the authentication on that visual file. So you can mention whenever you will download that file, so you need to mention the username and the password. When you will download that visual file, a pop-up will be appear, and there you need to mention the username and the password. Like here the username is Fred and the password is Smith. So if you want to create a new user, so just copy and paste here again. And if you want to create a user like test and test 123, so you can update the text value accordingly. So but by default data power will use this file. As I mentioned that we shall not make changes into the default file, so we'll keep a copy of that file into our local folder and we'll add or customize that file there only. So as the best practice, I told you we shall not make changes into the default files. Next is task template. Again, this is the directory structure or system inventory that is provided by the data power. And data power is basically use these files, these templates when it performing some kind of functionality like that. That is basically related to your GUI. For example, let's take an example. If you want to set a target, look target as an email you want to set target as email. So here you can see that email log.xsl file or email yes, email log. So here if you click on that, you can see here the email address is here, remote address is available here. So if you'll go to log target, means this file contains, if you render to any pages, so all these templates will be available here. So let's go to email log target, okay. I'll create a new log target here, okay. And let's see if we have a cache and we want to set it as SMTP and this is XML, or you can change the log format here like CSV, raw, text, okay. So here if you see that, here you can see the email address, you can see the remote host. Maybe you will not see all you'll not able to see the all values that is like email address you can see in this template, remote address you can see in this template, okay. But maybe the sender email address is not available in this template, okay. We'll see that if it's available or not. Yes, sender email is not available. Why this is not available? Because in XSLT we are importing other XSLTs as well, like we can see that, we are importing other XSLTs, so we can see here. So maybe that template is defined into that XSLT. So like we can see that we have one more we imported one more XSLTs here. So so we can say that in our task template, it's basically belongs to the GUI view of the data power. If we're moving to any particular page or any object, so all these tag name, elements name, values like labels, text box available, means it's related to your GUI only. So you can see all those settings template into your task templates only. So these are very important system inventory files of the data power, and we shall not make changes into any files which are mentioned into store and task template. But if you want to customize, yes, we shall copy those files into our local here into local directory, and we shall make changes accordingly. And last is the temporary folder is basically if you are performing some task, like if you want to generate some error reports, or you want to perform a packet capturing to troubleshoot any issues, or we can say that if you want to create some CSR files. So all these files will be created under the temporary folder, and whenever you restart your domain or appliances, all this file will not be available longer. So if you want to use that file for the future use, you can export those files, and if you want you can store those file into your local, or you can take the backup to your server or your any file directory. So when we'll create the certificate, I'll show you how the temporary file, how the files or the certificates are generated into a temporary folder. I'll show you when we'll generate the error report or packet capturing events, then how the default files is created into the temporary folder. So temporary folder is nothing but a collection of files where the files are available till you didn't restart your domain, or you restart your appliances. So in this video I covered the remaining object of the file structure, like log store, log temp, policy framework, pubcert, shared cert, store, task template, and temporary. As I mentioned, that file management is a very important concept in terms of admin and the development. So I covered all this direct structure in this video. So guys, as I mentioned that if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please subscribe it and click on the bell icon so that you'll get notification of newly uploaded videos. And it's a time of coronavirus and it's spreading everywhere, so please maintain social distancing. If you are going into public or interacting with any guys, please wear the mask and wash your hand properly. Keep sanitizing bottles with you, or the bottles with you, so that if you, and please don't shake hands to others. Please maintain the social distancing as per the rules. Thank you guys, and yes, I'll mention it again. Have healthy foods, keep doing exercise, stay fit, stay safe. Thank you.